The text message came through on a Tuesday evening, just as the city lights began to blur against the rain-streaked windows of his high-rise office. It was a simple, desperate plea, one he almost deleted without a second thought. Another request for money, he assumed, another distraction. But something, perhaps a whisper in the quiet of the night, made him pause. And then he saw the photo. His name was Arthur Pendleton. He was a man who had built an empire from the ground up, a CEO who commanded boardrooms with a steely gaze and whose name was synonymous with success. But on this particular evening, success felt hollow. The office was silent, a vast, empty space of polished floors and dark screens. He was scrolling through his phone, mentally preparing for another late night, when the unknown number flashed on his screen. The message was brief, the grammar slightly imperfect, as if typed by trembling fingers. "Hello, Mr. Evans? This is Sarah, from the cleaning staff. You said if we ever needed anything. My baby, she has no formula. I get paid Friday. I only need $20. Please, I can pay you back." Arthur sighed, a wave of irritation washing over him. His number was private, for emergencies only. This was a breach of protocol. And his name wasn't Mr. Evans, that was the head of building security. This Sarah person must have gotten the contacts mixed up. He typed a curt reply, "You have the wrong number." His thumb hovered over the send button, but then, as if guided by an unseen hand, a second message arrived. It was a picture. The photo was grainy, taken in a dimly lit room. It showed a young woman, no older than 22, her face etched with a fatigue that spoke of sleepless nights. In her arms was a tiny infant, swaddled in a thin blanket. The baby's cheeks were flushed, and it was the look in the mother's eyes that struck Arthur to his core. It wasn't just desperation, it was a fierce, protective love mixed with a profound fear that she was failing. He could see the corner of a single bassinet and a small, worn-out sofa in the background. This was her whole world. Arthur leaned back in his leather chair, the cityscape sprawling before him like a kingdom of glass and steel. He had everything, and this young woman, who cleaned his office late at night, making his world spotless for the morning, had nothing. $20. To him, it was less than the cost of his morning coffee. To her, it was the difference between her child going hungry or not. A war waged within him. The practical, corporate part of his brain argued its case. It's not your problem. You don't know her. She should have been more careful. What if this becomes a regular thing? But the image of that baby, so small and vulnerable, wouldn't leave him. He thought of his own daughter, safe and sound in her university dorm, never having wanted for anything. The contrast was a painful, searing truth. He didn't send the "wrong number" text. Instead, he found his fingers typing a different message. "Where are you right now?" The reply was almost instantaneous, filled with a hesitant hope. "I am at work, in your building, finishing the 30th floor." Arthur stood up. He walked out of his office and into the silent, echoing hallway. He took the elevator down, the soft hum the only sound. When the doors opened on the 30th floor, the air smelled of lemon-scented disinfectant. The lights were low, and at the far end of the corridor, he saw a slight figure pushing a heavy cleaning cart. He approached slowly, not wanting to startle her. When she turned, he saw the woman from the photo, her eyes wide with shock and a flicker of fear. She recognized him immediately. "Mr. Pendleton," she stammered, wiping her hands on her uniform. "I'm so sorry, sir. Is everything all right? Did I miss something?" Arthur's heart ached. Here she was, in the middle of her struggle, worried about her job. "Sarah?" he asked gently. She nodded, her gaze dropping to the floor. I'm so sorry about the text, sir. It was a mistake. I got the numbers mixed up. Please, don't be angry." Arthur looked at her, truly looked at her. He saw the exhaustion, the pride, the fear. "I'm not angry, Sarah," he said, his voice softer than he had used in years. "I got your message, and I saw the picture of your beautiful daughter." Tears welled in Sarah's eyes. She tried to blink them back, but one escaped, tracing a path down her cheek. "Her name is Lily," she whispered. I didn't know what else to do." In that moment, Arthur Pendleton, the titan of industry, was simply a human being connecting with another human being. He didn't pull out his wallet and hand her a $20 bill. That would have been too simple, too transactional. Instead, he did something far more profound. "Your shift is almost over, isn't it?" Sarah nodded. "All right. When you're finished, meet me at the lobby. I'm taking you to the store." The gratitude that washed over her face was more humbling than any business award he had ever received. An hour later, Arthur Pendleton wasn't in a boardroom. He was in a 24-hour supermarket, pushing a cart while a young mother named Sarah carefully picked out cans of formula, baby food, and diapers. He didn't just stop there. He insisted on adding groceries for her: bread, milk, fruit, and simple, nourishing food. As he drove her home to her small apartment, she was silent for a moment before speaking. "My mom always said that angels don't always have wings," she said softly. "Sometimes they wear suits and work in tall buildings." Arthur felt a lump form in his throat. He hadn't felt like an angel. He had just done what, in that moment, felt inherently right. The story doesn't end there. On Friday, Sarah found her paycheck included a modest but life-changing raise. Not out of pity, Arthur made clear, but in recognition of her hard work and dedication. He also connected her with the company's HR department, which helped her find a more flexible and affordable childcare solution. That single mistaken text, that tiny cry for help in the digital void, didn't just buy baby formula. It rebuilt a bridge in a man's heart that he didn't even know had crumbled. It reminded him that beneath the titles and the bank accounts, we are all human, capable of extraordinary kindness. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can change someone's world. Share this story if it touched your heart.